New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? It's Jay Ellis from the Knick Of Time Show here to give you that Knicks talk just a nick of time. And it's time for a celebration. And do you know why? Because the Charlie Ward curse has been broken. Gunshots in the air for the Charlie Ward curse being broken. All right. RJ Barrett re-signs with his hometown team, the New York Knicks, for about $120 million. All right. And it's going to be around $27 million a year. And listen, man, he deserved it. He deserved it. He worked hard. He got to 20 points a game. And despite all the news swirling around Donovan Mitchell, and despite people thinking he should be max, the Knicks actually got him for a decent contract. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about RJ Barrett. We're going to talk about Donovan Mitchell. We're going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to talk about any and everything that's been happening in Knicks Nation, because we've been a while. We've been away for a minute. It's all right. I know y'all missed us. I know. I miss y'all too. All right. But we're going to get into it. But before we get into it, let's me introduce my guys. All right. First and foremost, let me introduce my guy. I call him the Raw Metaphors, my guy from the YouTube channel across the street. Raw Hebrew Remnant. What's going on, Raw?
My man JL is glad to be here. Excited.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here too. Sorry for the delay, technical difficulties. We got new toys, but certain things still in the works. But we working on it. All right. Of course, you already know what this is. The man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts. Ryan G is in the building. Ryan G is still muted. You gotta unmute your mic, Ryan.
Oh, my fault. I didn't even notice that was my fault. Yeah, Ryan G's in the building. The sun is shining on Knicks Nation. Let's go.
The sun will come out. The sun is shining on Knicks Nation, and you gotta listen. This is the new rookie on the KOT team. If you didn't know, shout out to my man Lee. What's going on, Lee?
What's up, brothers? I'm glad that we're here talking Knicks. The RJ Hive is happy at night. I'm proud to be a member.
Definitely proud to be a member. Proud card carrying member of the RJ Hive. Now let's get into it. Oh man, where do I start? All right, first I'm gonna start here. It's a celebration, all right? Because we haven't had a guy re-sign to the Knicks who's been a first rounder in a very long time, and he deserves it, man. He worked hard. This guy is the face of the franchise for us. He has that New York demeanor, that New York grit, and he got around $27 million a year, roughly. That's at least what's been reported by Ian. So before we even get into everything else, what do you think about the size of the contracts, gentlemen? Because, you know, a lot of people were saying max deal or bust. But congratulations to this front office. Like, I think we actually got him on a reasonable deal and a manageable deal. And I think around 27, 20 is where I think he should actually be for the production. Hey, go ahead, Rolly. You start us off.
Well, I was looking it up because I was looking up the poison pill today. I Googled it, and apparently the poison pill means that they'd have to take back the average of his 4 years, which is 26.2 million.
Right.
So
right.
that adds up to almost 105. So he's got a base of about 105, and then with the incentives, he can get to 120.
Yeah, which and we'll get into the poison pill and that stuff in a second. But yeah, we always thought that's the way it would go, because if you look at the Julius Randle contract and the way they did contracts in general, they'll have like a baseline number, but then they'll also say, oh, you can make more if you make the All-Star team, if you make Defensive Player of the Year. So those are the incentives that can push RJ 220. But in all instances, it probably will not be 120. But Ryan, anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, like you said earlier, thankfully the Charlie Ward curse is over. So definitely big ups to that. And I think that's a huge positive step for the Knicks because since Charlie Ward was resigned and the Knicks haven't been re-signing their picks, players will get drafted here and they already know they're probably not going to last in Knicks uniform. Looking at the track record of the Knicks, so now the Knicks are showing that they're actually retaining their players that they've drafted on the team, and I think that's going to boost the Knicks image to all the players around the leagues. Showing we're showing players that we have a new regime in town, and that we actually show love to the players that we drafted, and we'd like to actually keep the players that we drafted, show loyalty to those players, and I think that's going to actually improve the Knicks' status around the league.
Keep the players that you drafted. Interesting choice of words. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. Anything to add to that, Lee?
My man Scott Perry did it again. I've been a huge Perry fan since he came on board. I think he's underrated. Leon gets a lot of credit, Brock Aller too, but Scott Perry has been the steady hand even during the Steve Mills days. And I've liked most of what he's done, especially when it comes to contracts. It's always an affordable deal. It's always team friendly, and he loves the incentives built into the contract. And RJ's got to hit some metrics in terms of all-star appearances and all NBA defensive teams in order to earn the full weight of that contract. And I love that Scott Perry did that. And I think Knicks fans should be really excited because really, since Charlie Ward re-signed, RJ is probably the most exciting, highest ceiling, most loved player that we've drafted in the first round. Since then, I would even put him above KP.
Oh, that's not even a question. Like, most love for sure. Listen, this guy is all business. He doesn't even post his workout videos. Like you just know he just comes back better. He's not the flashy guy. He does his work. He's a hard-working dude, and he just keeps it moving. I love these guys that are like low mess, low drama, but even kill and can be the face of the franchise, can answer the hard questions. Those are the type of personalities, the type of characters that you want in New York. And that's what we got in RJ. And we want to keep him in New York. Emphasis on keep him in New York. All right. And I'm saying keep him for a reason, because I want to keep him. And I before I get into the front office, I'm gonna give the front office some props for the way they've conducted themselves over the last few years. We've been acting like a rational franchise, and we haven't gone over the edge too much. We might have overpaid like a penny or two here and there in contracts, but we haven't made any crazy trades that's gonna set us back years and years, that throws away millions of draft picks, etc., etc., etc. Right? And which brings me to the news that has dropped yesterday in conjunction with the RJ extension. And unfortunately, like, the RJ extension is like, it didn't get to be celebrated really like I want it because of everything that's happening. But elephant in the room. Woj drops atomic bombs. Not even a bomb, atomic bombs. Carpet bombs, if you will, right? Because like Woj, if you go on Twitter, Woj has a thread and he's just going, and it's like going into the details of thread on pop a thread of news that, as a Knicks fan, you're like, this is a little disturbing, but also kind of, you're like proud and disturbed at the same time. I don't know how to. That's the best way I can describe it. And the news pretty much said RJ Barrett, was included in trade talks with the Utah Jazz. And on top of that, over the last 48 hours, there has been trade discussions include RJ Barrett, and Utah and Knicks were getting closer and closer to a deal. And It's the closest it's been on Monday morning. But then Leon Rose let his nuts hang and said, listen, make this deal now, or we're going to handle our own business and sign the extension. And once the deal wasn't made, RJ Barrett became a New York Knick, and the likelihood of us even trading him to Utah became even slimmer. So I want to get you guys' reaction to that news, because that news is crazy. What do you think about RJ Barrett even being included in the deal? Because a month ago, Ian was telling us that like the Knicks were dead set on not including him, and then things changed that quickly. Go ahead, Lee.
Well, first off, RJ Barrett's my favorite player since Melo. I do not want to include him in any trade for Spider Mitchell. But the deal that I saw reported, I believe, was RJ and only 2 first-round picks and nobody else included. So I think the expectation was that RJ's, the average that Raw alluded to at $26 million, and maybe some salary fillers, or maybe Rose would be included as well, or some other cap considerations would be sent to Utah for Mitchell. That's Leon Rose showing that if you want RJ, you're only getting 2 first-round picks. And there hasn't really been a lot of information disclosed on if they were both unprotected, if one was unprotected and one was heavily protected, or even if both were coming straight from New York or elsewhere. That deal being said, I would make that move. I don't want to, but I would trade RJ in just 2 picks for Donovan Mitchell. Because at the end of the day, is Donovan Mitchell more impactful and a better player than RJ? Yes. If you can bring him in and keep Obi, keep Grimes, keep IQ, maybe even Rose, and your salary cap and your picks for a future trade, I make that deal. I don't want to give up RJ. I love RJ, but as reported, I would make the deal for RJ and 2 first-round picks. Glad we still have him at the same time.
Woo! You would put RJ in. Interesting. The way I've heard that is that the 2 picks are definitely ours, and Leon Rose was dead set on not giving those 2 picks up. Also, I believe Obi Toppin might have been involved as well. No. And I can double check that.
No.
It was RJ and Evan Fournier and 2 unprotected picks.
RJ, Evan Fournier, and 2 unprotected picks. I'll double check.
I would make that deal. I would do that.
This is the thing. Think about it like this. If let's say they did that deal on Monday, right? Today's Tuesday. If somebody reported that RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected picks, and Evan Fournier was traded for Donovan Mitchell, it would be the steal of the century. I mean, we would have got Donovan Mitchell. We still have Obi Toppin. We still have Emmanuel Quickly. We still have we have, we basically have everybody. Now look, I am totally against. I was against trading RJ on principle because of he's representing the face of a new culture.
Right.
But if you're telling me we would have gotten, and this is what I'm saying, it would first of all have been a total steal. That's a steal. You're getting an NBA All-Star for a kid that has upside for sure, but you only gave him 2 unprotected picks. That's ridiculous. And they would still have all of their picks, all of their protected picks, and they would have gotten off of Fournier's contract. No, that would have been a steal. It's like, to me, it's what the Don was saying. Let me put this out there, and he's playing Ainge because he's like, okay, so you don't want that. That means we're going to take our better players out of this deal and include more picks, because you can't get both. You can't get a good player and picks. You're going to get salary fillers and a lot of picks, or you're going to get a couple of picks and a good player. So what do you want? And so that's what he did. I think he already knew that deal wasn't going to get done. He had to put his nuts on the table and say, RJ and 2 picks, Evan Fournier is a salary filler. What you want? And Ainge is like, well, let me think about that. Okay, you got to tonight, Monday night, to tell me what you want. And if you don't want, I'm signing RJ tomorrow. And so he's showing Ainge, I'm in control of this. I'm running this game. I run ting now. So, okay, I run this ting. So now Ainge knows this cat is not playing, and he puts something out there. So I think that he did. He just set the gauntlet. He said, either you're going to get a really good player and just a couple picks, or you can get more picks, but you're not going to get the players you want.
Yeah, Leon was trying to get RJ Barrett, the Statue of Liberty, and everybody else included. He wanted the cheerleader. Like, he was a kind of ODing with the like, you can't have everything. And to me, honestly, when I'm looking at RJ Barrett with picks, like, RJ Barrett is worth a few unprotected in my eyes. And I'm probably feeling like if that's what they offered, that's what they were thinking. You know what I mean? They're feeling RJ Barrett is our best asset on the team. So you can't have our best asset plus Grimes plus unprotected or unprotected. Right. That's just crazy.
That's right. Yeah. And so he set the guideline. He said, okay, that to me what that meant. Either you're going to get picks or you're going to get players, but you cannot have both. So that to me means he's taking off the table RJ and whoever else he wants. It's going to be salary fillers plus he might get, and that's probably why you're talking now with the Lakers, which we'll get to. But now Leon Rose is a mess. He's not taking shorts. He might do a third pick and then a couple of players and then probably solicit a third team for a pick.
I thought for sure that we was going to settle on third pick. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lee.
Leon was saying, if you want RJ, he's the only young guy you're getting. You're not getting RJ and Obi or RJ and IQ.
Right.
It's RJ and these two picks and nothing else, which sets us up for a future trade for another star later on when they become available. I thought it was I don't like giving up RJ, but I liked how Leon did it. I thought it was very smooth.
Brilliant.
Like Ross said, I'm the captain now. Like, this is
exactly.
I'm the one who's going to dictate the functionality of it, which is great. We haven't had a GM do that before, or a president.
Nope, never.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ainge ever had a GM approach it like that, except if he ever tried to deal with Masai Ujiri. But Leon just told him, man, there's a new sheriff in town in New York, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
and,
Ryan.
I just want to add something right quick. Like, the way I look at this, I just feel like Leon was fed up with Danny Ainge's crap throughout this whole trade process, because he was putting out packages out there. Okay, you can have 4 picks, these young players. Donovan Mitchell is not he's not the price that you're putting out there for him. So it's like, okay, we're trying to bring the market back down because we know Gobert, that trade was crazy and inflated the market. So we're trying to give actual market value for Donovan Mitchell, but yet you're still there demanding the whole sea, the whole land for Donovan Mitchell, acting like this guy is MJ or LeBron. He's not MJ or LeBron. So Leon Rose was like, okay, we're trying to get it back to the market value. 4 picks, couple young players for Donovan Mitchell. Okay, you don't want to take that? All right, fine. You want RJ Barrett? Okay, we'll give you RJ Barrett, but you know what? We're not giving you the picks that you want then. So we're only going to give up 2 picks and RJ Barrett. If you don't want to take that, then you can kiss my ass. We'll sign RJ Barrett. and that's that. Now it's even hard to get him. Now it's even hard to get him through trade. So I feel like that's how Leon Rose approached this whole situation. He got fed up with Danny Ainge. He was like, you know what? This is my final offer. You want RJ Barrett? Here you go. You're only getting 2 picks with them. And if you do not take this deal, you can kiss my ass. RJ Barrett is going to be a Knick for the next 4 years. And if you want him, now it's more difficult to get him.
That's right. He gave him to Tony Soprano. Go flock yourself, man.
This is the most impressive thing to me about this whole thing is the chess match that's been going on from beginning to now. Because even Brian Windhurst was on top of it. Everybody saw what was happening. The Utah Jazz was trying to manipulate the media into having the Knicks up their offer. Oh, the Cavs are right there. Ooh, Miami wants them. Ooh, the Wizards. Ooh, the New York Liberty is now in the, like, everybody was in the rumors.
The Shanghai Sharks.
Right. I was like, wow. Like, players are involved. Like, it was crazy that it was going to that length. And the thing that I liked about yesterday's news was it set a tone, It set a tone to everybody else that, but we knew, Knicks Nation knew that Leon Rose walks away from deals. And I've been in Utah, like content creators mentioned arguing is down, up and down. Like Leon is not a schmuck. He walks away, and that's exactly what he did. And I almost feel like that news of that deadline kind of illustrates that, like, we're not taking this no more. We setting our own terms, take it or leave it. I personally still don't like that RJ is involved. I would like to keep him off the table at all costs. Obviously, that's not what happened. I get what you guys are saying. Donovan Mitchell is unequivocally better than RJ Barrett, for sure. I would like to pair him with RJ Barrett, but like when I'm looking at the scope of this team, though, I can see why they would do it for a lot of reasons, but I'm still hesitant, and it's more of the emotional. It's more of the emotional side, knowing this is a homegrown player.
No, that's JL. Is exactly that's what it is. See, this is what I love about Leon Rose. He is not emotional. His emotions are out of it, and so like this, like if somebody were to say, "What the Milwaukee Bucks received a call on Giannis Antetokounmpo." What's the call? Well, Washington called, and Milwaukee asked for 10 first-round picks and KP and Beal. And you see what I'm saying? Anybody could be on the market, but what's the cost?
Right.
Leon said, "Okay, I'll dangle him out there. I'll dangle him out there for 2 unprotecteds, and you can have Evan Fournier, and that's it.
That's it."
Nobody's going to take that deal, especially Danny Ainge, but he's letting Danny Ainge know, this is what you're getting, man. Either you're going to do business with me for picks, or you're going to do business with me for players, but we're not going to do both. We're not getting fleeced here.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, my fault. And just to hop on what Ross said, I think you have to look at it this way. I think this shows you how much Leon Rose actually values RJ Barrett. The fact that he said, you know what, if you want RJ Barrett, you're only gonna get 2 picks with them, because RJ Barrett himself, I think Leon Rose views him as like, maybe 2 or 3 first-round picks if you're trying to pry RJ Barrett from the Knicks. So he's like, okay, you want 6 picks? You want RJ Barrett? Okay, then. Here's RJ Barrett and here's 2 picks. This is how much we value him. If you don't want that deal, so be it. RJ Barrett stays with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that Leon Rose was the agent for Carmelo when the Knicks traded for him from Denver to New York. And I think he's acutely aware of what the 4 of us and the rest of Knicks Nation have dealt with under Dolan's ownership. He knows how many times the Knicks have gotten fleeced under Isaiah Thomas, under Donnie Walsh, under Dylan Grunwald, under Steve Mills. And he has the Knicks fans' best interest at heart, representing us, making sure that one thing that's not going to happen, whether we get Spida or not, we're not getting fleeced. And I had a mad respect for him for drawing a line in the sand.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And here's the thing that I'm looking at as like a total picture. And this is the whole reason why I wanted to keep a lot of our assets. And why I even think, listen, RJ Barrett, like I've been saying, is probably going to sign for around 30 million, right? He signs around 27 million. Julius Randle, the same, right? And then we also have, we also have, why am I blanking right now? The point guard that we signed.
Brunson.
Thank you. Sheesh. It's not that late for me to forget Jalen Brunson's name. Jalen Brunson is also signed.
That's right.
For the 25 million. So you're looking at these guys, and you turn around, you have 4 players who's going to be signed to like 30 million a piece, and you're going to look around and go, if we trade all of our picks, we're kind of in a bind, because we're going to need those picks to either A, draft cheap talent later, or B, move on for a contract or a subsequent move or something. So we have to play this very carefully because of the amount of money involved. Now, if RJ is moved, it will help alleviate some of that situation. But like I said, listen, the fact that he got extended, it minimizes the chance that he's moved. And Ro, I don't know if you want to restate what we talked about with the poison pill.
Yes. The thing is, okay, let's look at the starting 5 in terms of salary. So you have 27 for Brunson. if you got Mitchell, you'd have 30, right? That's 30 million. And RJ is 26, 27 next year. And then you have Mitchell Robinson is 17. And then you're going to have Julius Randle around 27, 20. Well, this year he's 24, but if it'd be like 27
Right.
next year. So, I would look at that. If I'm just looking at the salaries, I'm saying I got to be able to make a deep playoff run
Right.
with that. Because other than that, and that's why I'm also thinking there's going to be a Randall move, because I'm just saying as far as money, I'd rather have if I could put Obi Toppin in there and make a run at 2 million or 5 million, whatever he's getting paid, and then keep some cheap salaries on my bench, I'm going to do that, because that gives me a chance to operate for some more superstars later on. Versus right now, I don't know. I just see it's too heavy a little bit right now with all of those guys in terms of the salary.
My thing is right now, if I'm looking at the landscape of everything and what they're asking for, it looks like Grimes and Obi might be a goner. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way I'm seeing it right now. Especially like even Ian kind of broke it down in one of his articles. If they're asking for RJ Barrett and 2 first-round picks, and that's what the Knicks are willing to give them, you would think if the Knicks still feel like there is a deal to be had with the Utah Jazz, there might be more of our depth involved to bring Donovan Hill. So I would keep.
I don't think
Obi's
that. You know why? Because they reported that they offered Obi in 2 first rounds. So I don't think Obi's on the table. I think it's going to be IQ or Grimes or Cam, and I don't think you're going to get rid of both Grimes and Cam, because I think the Lakers want Cam. And so I think Mark Berman's been saying that. I think he's right. The Lakers want Cam. I don't see them sending out Cam and Grimes, because now you're losing both your wings. But I can see them doing one of them. I don't know. It's going to be different. I think IQ is going to Utah myself. I think it's IQ, Fournier, and I think Grimes are going to Utah.
I think it's feel like it's probably going to be Grimes and Cam.
Because today I was looking at it like this, and I was like, okay, LeBron wants shooters, right? So if you're gonna, and I was thinking, okay, with the team they now have, if you add Bogdanovich and Fournier, now you got something, because with AD and LeBron, you got something there, because now you got shooters around those guys. Those guys cannot be guarded one-on-one, and you got shooters. So I can see Fournier, Bogdanovich going to LA, and then you're sending IQ and Grimes to Utah, and Westbrook goes to Utah for the salary, and the Knicks get Mitchell. And I can see that work. That actually worked on the trade machine, and I can see them doing that. And especially if LA is willing to attach a first-round pick and send that to Utah, the Knicks can send 3. Now he's getting 4 unprotected picks, and Knicks might throw in an unprotected or 2. That's 6 picks. I don't know if he says no to that.
He already said no to RJ and 2 picks, and personally, I think that was insane. Personally.
No, I wouldn't do it either. If I'm him, I want 4 picks.
You want 4 picks?
I want 4, and that's what I'm saying. LA is going to give up 1. LA will give up 1 for those 2 shooters. They'll give up 1. See, that's the problem. They would have gotten Held and Turner, but Indiana wants both their picks, and they said no. We're only going to give you 1. But I think they'll do 1 for Bogdanovich and Fournier, because that's what they're getting, 2 shooters there.
They might do 2 if Westbrook is also sent to Utah, because they're having a hard time getting rid of him as well.
Right. So if they sent 2 to Utah, now the Knicks only got to send 2.
The Lakers have been hesitant to send 2 picks this whole summer, because everybody's been wanting 2 picks. Like they wanted Buddy Hield and Miles Turner.
Right.
And Indiana wanted 2 picks, and the Lakers said no. Hail to the no. So
that's right. It's funny. I don't know why, but it seems like, I don't know. I think Miles Turner is not as valued as I thought he would be, because he's only a $20 million guy, and nobody's taking him. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but
I guess it's the injury history.
Derrick Rose too, because they probably want some point guard depth behind Patrick Beverley. They might want to take Rose.
What do you think? What do you think about Nunn? I thought they were going to start him.
I haven't heard anything about Nunn in terms of his position in rotation.
Yeah, I thought he might start. Yeah, I don't know, but because they got Hendrick Nunn and he's on an expiring deal as well. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But I think you're right. If they give up 2 first rounders, then that helps the Knicks because they give up 2 firsts to Utah, send Westbrook out there. They get the 2 shooters. Now we only got to send 2 protected picks to Utah.
Yeah, I agree. And the way I see Leon navigating this thing, he seems really steadfast on these 2 picks. I don't think he's going to move.
I don't know.
I know.
It doesn't seem like it.
I don't think he's going to move.
No.
Yeah.
So he'll probably give 2 and 2 protected.
Yeah.
And you know what? He shouldn't. Donovan Mitchell's not worth 3 unprotected picks. That's a lot of future you're mortgaging for a guy who's never been All NBA and who's not a first team, like a guy you can have as your first option to win a championship. Let's be honest. Look how he performed in the playoffs last year against Jalen Brunson. He's not a guy you give up 3 unprotected first round picks for, in my opinion.
Brunson really made him look bad, man.
He did.
Yeah.
Really bad.
No, you're absolutely right. Has he been to the finals? No, he's a great player. No. He's performed well in the playoffs, but there is a ceiling. And listen, we have already done this with the Carmelo Anthony trade. Mortgaged our whole future to get him here, and then there was a cap on our success.
But the thing is, at least with Carmelo Anthony, he did make the Western Conference Finals at least with the Nuggets with a good team. Yeah. So it's like
and he had Chauncey with him.
Yeah, exactly. But still, it's like at least Carmelo Anthony actually experienced the Western Conference Finals. Donovan Mitchell couldn't get out the second round with Utah. That's the furthest he went.
True.
Absolutely.
That's facts right there.
That's all. That's
facts right there.
All facts. And shout out to Rich Jim who actually told us earlier that he said there was a deal that involved Obi and Grimes. I know I wasn't bugging. Yeah. There was,
and it was 2 picks, and they said no. But hey, it's all good. I'm just saying. I think Grimes and again, Mark Berman wrote this. Grimes would not mind going to Utah because he knows if Mitchell comes to New York, he won't get a chance to start.
Right. And here's one thing I want to say to you guys too, because I've been seeing this a lot on Twitter, and I don't want anybody to be blindsided. All right, because Knicks fans can't be blindsided. I've seen a lot of disbelief that RJ Barrett was even included.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a lot of you know what? Donovan Mitchell, I mean Leon Rose didn't really include him in the trade. I want to talk about how shocked everybody was when KP was traded, and we thought he would never be traded.
No, I was hoping they trade him. No, because I had heard that summer they offered an incentive-laden deal, and I thought he was an injury-prone player. I loved him, but I thought he was injury-prone, and he refused to sign the incentive-laden deal. And then his brother started acting up, and that's when Steve Mills said, "Okay, you don't want to be here? Fine, let's get rid of you." And I was like, "Okay, get out of here."
And I was kind of for the trade too, like when it was happening. I mean, not that I was for the trade, but I was scared to max him. But I also thought trading wasn't the end of the world because of the thing that you have mentioned, his injury history. But that's besides the point. What I really want to say is this. As Knicks fans, sometimes we get blinded by our own fandom. And I feel like this might be one of those times where it's starting to happen a little bit. RJ Barrett is still a New York Knick. It is harder to trade him because of the poison pill provision. The way I've heard it explained is you can't really get equal trade for trading RJ Barrett. It's like $10 million going out,
and $26 million
coming in. So it makes it almost impossible to match.
He's off
salaries.
the table. Yeah, he's off the table. I mean, Ian Begley said it. Ian Begley said he's off the table.
It's funny. Ian Begley says he's off, or it makes it harder. But
he said it makes it harder, but he said obviously Leon now is taking him out the deal.
Right.
That's what he said.
Right. There's only one trade. I forgot what the exact number was, but one trade out of 170, was it 2 or 9? One out of 179 players have been traded with that poison pill provision. So it makes it very difficult to trade them. So in all likelihood, it might not happen but a third team might have to be involved. But we all know that a third team in the Lakers has already been kind of involved already. So
Mhm.
I'm just preparing everybody for every possibility. All right, because
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
been blindsided before for KP.
Oh, I hear you. So,
and-
you know, okay, I hear you.
And I'm also saying this: Woj, Ian, and Shams. All right, we've all regarded these guys as the highest of the high in NBA royalty, Knicks Nation credibility. All three of these guys are saying he was involved, and all three of these guys are saying it seemed like he was almost traded. So
Yeah.
I don't want everybody just be like, listen,
Well,
I trust Woj over my own mama, right? If Woj
No,
told me,
no.
yo, Jay Ellis, Woj, if I read an article and Woj was like, yo, Jay Ellis, your dad's not your dad, I'm like, bum, man, like really? Like I would believe him. Like that's how much I believe Woj. So when I'm reading this stuff, my Nick brain and my fan and my logical brain are like fighting each other. Like, there's no way RJ Barrett is in the trade, but this is Woj. You know what I'm saying? So I just want you guys to be mentally prepared.
Nah, we ready, man. He ain't going nowhere. I ain't worried about RJ. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, like we said earlier, like
He ain't going nowhere.
when he included RJ Barrett in the deal, he only was willing to give up two unprotected first round picks. Right there, that tells you that
That's it.
he values RJ Barrett highly, and that he's not going to give up RJ for no chump change. So
That's
it's
right.
like,
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
let's be honest too. When we trade KP, we got that Dennis Smith Jr. and a bunch of bums. Like,
yeah,
Donovan Mitchell, like you know, he's a better player.
Nah, I get it. Yeah, he's definitely a better. He's a better player. I whatever. Gunshots, man. So we're celebrating this RJ. RJ is still the New York Knick, and in all likelihood, he's gonna be staying with us, and hopefully he will be paired with Donovan Mitchell. So shout out to the front office. Shout out to our guy World Wide West for making this thing happen. All right. Yo, and shout out to the chat, because the chat is bumping. First and foremost, Shad, it's your first time at the KOT show. Hi, what's going on? How you doing? My name is Jay Ellis. These are my guys. If you like it here, please hit that like button. Please subscribe button. I know we haven't been streaming a lot in a while, but I've been working this stuff behind the scenes, and it hasn't been easy getting this stuff out. All right. But trust me, when the season starts and when more news starts and it gets bigger and badder, we'll be talking about all that news, and you're going to want to be here because these guys are really good analysts, and we have fun together, and you're gonna have fun too. Trust me. All right. And also shout out to you guys, because you see this new mic? Do you see the mic? Do you see how I can move away and you can still hear me? That's because of you guys. That's because of you guys, your donations and your super chats. I swear to, I have not buying Jordans, Ewings, or nothing. Everything goes back into the pod. It goes back into the writers. It goes back into KOT.
Wait, you ain't bought no RJ Pumas?
I ain't buy nothing. No RJ Pumas. Not a Puma in sight. Not a Puma, a cheetah, not a lot, nothing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if y'all peeped, but there's a Jazz fan in the comment section too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, he's been commenting.
Is he?
Oh, shout out to you, cause I've been all up in Monty's show. So shout out to you. All right.
Who's it? Was a Jazz fan in here?
The funny thing about talking to the Jazz fans, and they're still under the impression that Utah's not tanking.
Are they?
Yeah. Not even, but it's their beat writers as well. Because what's happening is Danny Ainge is feeding their beat writers information to kind of like mess with the trade market.
Right. For leverage.
For leverage. And then when you're reading Woj's breakdowns, in Woj's breakdowns, it literally says the Utah Jazz are rebuilding ever since they traded Rudy Gobert.
Yep, full rebuild.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's clear as day now because if the Gobert trade wasn't evidence enough, I feel like the Gobert trade alone, if they kept with those guys, I think they still would have a decent team in Utah because those are solid players to put around Donovan Mitchell. But what told me was a rebuild is when they traded away Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
Once I saw that move, I was like,
no way.
Nah, this is not the Jazz trying to continue to play for a playoff spot. This is the Jazz trying to trade away their assets and trying to rebuild.
Right. Keeping Patrick Beverly is a win now move. Trading for THT is a in the future development move. It's very obvious, but I digress. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Be Civilized, Big also, Francisco Carrillo, AT Alien, JT Reddick, Angela Rodriguez. Everybody else is rocking with the KT show. Salute to you. Shout out to the guy in Brazil. I was on this shit show. Did an interview. Oh, shout out to Into the Knicks verse. Into the Knicks verse is doing his thing as well. Shout out to you. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. I know you guys want to talk about. You want to talk about the Ryan. You got the schedule stuff. You want to talk about the schedule stuff?
Or the schedule stuff?
Right. But hold on. Before we go talk about the schedule stuff, I'm gonna talk about one more thing.
All right.
Very interesting. I was perusing Google's, and I ran into like a tweet put out by an Arizona like sports place. And I'm looking through the tweet and I'm like, huh, interesting. They have a poll up. And the poll says something to the lines of, would you want to trade for Julius Randle? Things that make you go, I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, what were the results though?
There are actual basketball fans who want to trade for Julius Randle.
In Phoenix?
In Phoenix. And they were talking about Jay Crowder, Shamet,
and Sharrett.
Yeah, Sharrett, and a first round pick. And I'm just like,
I wouldn't mind Crowder and Shamet. I don't want Sharrett because then you have a million power forwards again.
No, Shamet.
Shamet and Crowder would be good.
Yeah, I would take them.
I would definitely do it. I was just kind of shocked that was even a thing because apparently, those guys were looking to go after Kevin Durant. Of course, that fell through massively. And just like us, when they missed on Kevin Durant, they looked at Julius Randle.
Yeah, no, they appear to be looking for a legit power forward, like the down, like they have wings that are playing the power forward, right? Right.
So I haven't seen any legit like reports on that, but the fans are down for it, and it's been reported that the Suns are looking for a legit power forward, like Ross said. So that's why I mentioned it with you guys. But that's a yes for me, dog. No hesitation. Like B. Civilized said.
Right? Please.
Thanks.
Man. All right, let's get to the schedule stuff, man, real quick, man. Let's go. Cause I know you want to.
Yeah, so going to the Knicks schedule right now, I think the toughest part of the Knicks schedule is towards the end of the season. Because towards the end of the season, they have a 4-game road trip, West Coast road trip. And I think the majority of their games towards the end of the season are away games as well. So they have a tough stretch towards the end of the season. And they also have an early road trip in November, which is also on the West Coast.
That's a big one.
Well.
Yeah, it's a big one. They got their biggest road trip of the season is in November. It's a long. They got another one in March, but the biggest one is in November.
Yeah, and to be honest about it, I would rather the Knicks get that out of the way early.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way early instead of saving up for like towards the end of the season when the Knicks are possibly fighting for a playoff spot and then they have to go on this long ass West Coast trip and have to try to win those games on the road against those tough West Coast teams. So, but overall, huh?
Go ahead.
No, but I was saying overall, I don't think it's really a bad schedule though. I just think towards the end of the season, like, the Knicks definitely have to do their winning in the early part of the season because towards the end, it's going to be tough stretches, especially on the road. So
Ryan and I have been talking about this. I've been excited to talk about the schedule because for me, it's all about December. December is a big month for the Knicks. I agree that the winning needs to come early on if they're going to try to shoot for that play-in or, even better, the 5th or 6th seed. But in December, it starts off December 3rd, baby. Dallas Mavericks in MSG. Jalen Brunson on drop 30 on the asses.
Oh, yeah.
Barrett, pathetic Mav fans. I'm in Dallas. I hate these bum Mav fans. all summer, I've been lighting them up, bro. I mean, I'm in like 9 group chats just dogging on them constantly. Bum ass franchise, terrible ownership. So they played Dallas on the 3rd, and then there's a really interesting stretch after that where they hit Cleveland, Atlanta, and Charlotte. 3 teams I think they're going to be competing with for that 5th through 9th spot. 3 Eastern Conference teams I think are about at their level right now if we don't get Spida. And then December 14th and 16th, back-to-back Bulls. I think the Bulls and the Knicks are 2 teams that have the Bulls are a little more equipped in their starting 5, but I think the Knicks have better depth. To me, they're pretty even as of right now. We played the Bulls in the first round series. I think the Knicks can actually take them, and that's even without Spida. We also played with Golden State Warriors on TNT. We got Toronto, another Chicago game, Philly, and then in Dallas, the Mavs, December 27th. Those are a string of games I think will be very crucial to see how this team gels with Brunson at the point, and if we can compete with some of our Eastern Conference rivals, as well as the Mavs and Golden State in that December month as well. It's going to be a Merry Christmas for me.
Yeah, and sorry to point this out. I just want to point this out right quick. It's funny because the Knicks actually faced Chicago 3 times in December, and then on top of that, it's back-to-back road games in Chicago. That's rare in the NBA.
RJ versus DeRozan, baby. Can't wait. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, Sporting News ranked the Knicks as the 6th toughest schedule in the NBA.
Right. Yeah, 6th toughest schedule. And I also saw something that said we have like the most back-to-backs.
They have 12 back-to-backs.
Yeah. Here's what I'm looking at. The start of the season and its implications on this Donovan Mitchell stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, that's what I'm really kind of have my eye on. 'Cause I'm curious to see if there's gonna be pressure or no pressure, depending on if we get to a slow start or a fast start. So, and on both sides too, like on both sides, like I want to see, if Ainge is on that side and Donovan Mitchell is still there, and they're winning a little bit too much, how is like. Because you already know they're trying to think how is that going to affect them if they want to a little bit too much. And for us, how are we going to perform? We've already added Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson is a damn good player. Not an all-star, but
not yet.
When he's played away from Luka, he's had all-star type numbers. So to see him be the engine of a team full time, it's possible that he can open some eyes, given a more freedom and running to run a team full time. So I'm really curious to see how that happens. It happens all the time when you see these guys with lesser roles go to another team and get the keys to be a man, and he ascends to another level. I always use James Harden as an example with OKC, going to the Houston Rockets, and all of a sudden he's seen as the top 10, top 15 player. The same thing. I'm not saying that is going to happen for Jalen Brunson, but giving his numbers without Luka, I will keep my eye on that. I'll definitely keep my eye on that for sure.
Do you guys think there's even a possibility that this trade lingers past opening night? I think it happens before training camp. I don't think there's any way Ainge allows to go into this.
Yeah, no, it's got to be done before the Utah goes to training camp. That would be that even in Podunk, Utah, that's going to be a circus. It's going to be a circus out there. But no, that gets done before that. I think they're close. I think they get done this coming weekend.
You think so, man?
Yeah.
You say these guys are so like headstrong. Like I can't say that with my chest. Like both of these guys are clearly manipulating the why was it even leaked that Leon Rose backed away from the deal and gave a deadline, right? Like the same way I feel like Danny Ainge was playing games in chess involving all these other teams and things. I feel like Leon was like, oh, that's how you play the game? Okay, cool. Leak this info.
But Ainge got exposed because Cleveland said we will not be used as leverage. He got exposed, man. That's what I said. Oh man, your hand is played, bro.
Exactly.
Well, you know what though? I actually want to see Donovan Mitchell go into the season with Utah. I want to see his attitude. I want to see
It's
how he's
gonna
gonna
be
take
ugly.
it.
It's gonna be ugly. I don't think so. That's why I'm thinking this weekend, and I'm thinking, because these guys ain't blinking, LA comes in there and they got things on both teams they want. So I think that's how this gets done.
I got a question for y'all that I've been thinking about, and I haven't had this conversation yet with any other Knick fan. Is there anyone else on Utah that you're interested in? Because I've heard Rudy Gay attached to Spida in a deal if the salaries bumped up in terms of what the Knicks are giving back or what the Lakers are giving them.
Mhm.
I would love to have that Jared Vanderbilt kid. Man, that dude is a defender, guards all 5 positions. He's a Thibs kid, and if we dump out Randall, we'd love for him to back up Obi. That would be a really nice difference maker off the bench. I love Vanderbilt. Would love to have him on the team.
I don't think Ainge would let him go because he's got a cheap salary on him.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
But he
I
also
think.
doesn't necessarily help the rebuild either.
I mean, what is he making?
I feel
What's
like
this guy?
all old guys are on the table. That's how
Yeah, all
he-
the old, yeah, he's got 2 years and 8.9 million. I don't think they're gonna let him
He's
go.
not about the same as Rudy Gay. I think Gay made said $1 or $2 million more, and they have the same number of years on their contract. I'm like, if Rudy Gay's on the table, I have no interest in Rudy Gay. I think he's washed out at this point. But man, if we did Vanderbilt,
But Vanderbilt's much younger though. That's what I mean.
True, yeah.
How old is he? He's 22. He's 23. He's 23. Yeah, nah, I don't see them doing that.
Yeah.
Man.
I've always been a Clarkson
Ainge
fan,
ain't
but I don't think that's gonna happen.
And the thing about Clarkson though is that isn't he expiring? No, he's got 2 years left. I thought he was expiring. No, he's got
what
2
about
years.
Bojan?
Well, the
Bojan.
thing is
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying that the thing is if the Jazz are truly rebuilding, then they can actually get something valuable back from trading Clarkson. So if they're in a true rebuild, and I think that they are, I can see Clarkson going in a deal eventually.
Yeah, I don't think the Knicks want to take back any salary that's not expiring.
Yeah. I don't think Clarkson is going to be it for us. If anything, and this is another reason why I feel like Obi might be gone. These Melo rumors, man, I've heard it a few times. I've heard it a few times from a few different time periods. I heard it from Ian.
But I read
ago.
somewhere that the Knicks are not as interested in him as everybody thinks.
Really? Where did you read that? Because
I forgot where I saw, but they said that he's more interested in coming to New York than they are in acquiring him.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, things change all the time. I've definitely heard Ian say, I don't know where I heard him say it. Maybe he was on his show, but I definitely heard him say that the Knicks have been inquiring about bringing back Melo at least last year.
Yeah, this year, everything I've read, Melo's the one that's putting out feelers to come to New York, but nobody's reached back out to him. I don't know. I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think so. So you guys are both talking about either Melo, which would be more appropriate, or Rudy Gay, but they're both washed at this point, and you're talking about backup to whoever the power forward is, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about backup situations at this point.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
what?
yeah.
I mean, ideally, you would want a defensive bruiser, backup power forward to kind of supplement what we have going on in the front court. But what backup bruiser power forwards are really out there that's left? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're not going to get a backup bruiser, you might as well get a guy who can shoot the lights out from three.
Yeah.
Unless the Suns are bringing Jay Crowder, then hey, let's do it.
Yeah, because I could see it. There's room. It's money. The money makes sense for Jay Crowder and Sark, or Jay Crowder and Shamet, and then it also makes sense for Kelly Oubre and Plumlee. Kelly Oubre and Plumlee for Randall makes sense as far as the money. I don't know if they do that, and I don't mind Oubre coming off my bench.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to Fridge, who says Melo had dinner with Dolan months ago. That's absolutely true.
Yeah,
They did
it
the
was
thing
even
where, one person
weeks
leaves
ago.
and the next person leaves, so to make it seem inconspicuous, but we was conspicuous in, we saw what was happening.
Maybe Dolan wants him to be a coach. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, don't
Nah,
play my
yeah.
man Melo. No gunshots for Melo. What do you mean, man?
I'm just kidding.
I mean, it would be acceptable if the Knicks move Julius Randle and move Obi up to the starting lineup. Then maybe Melo could back up Obi. Maybe it would work out that way.
I don't think anybody would argue that one, because I think Melo's a fan favorite, man.
Right, for real. I mean, even in the event, right? And I don't want this to happen because I'm an OB guy and I feel like he actually fits in offensively at least. He's a ball mover who can play with the first unit of guys who need the ball. If we end up moving Obi and we do bring back Melo, if there's anybody who I think Julius Randle might listen to in regards of how to handle the New York crowd, I think Melo would be the guy he might actually listen to. So,
Did Randall listen to anybody?
no.
I'm saying I don't think so. Man.
I think Melo might be the one OG. Like Melo was the one training him last summer how to do his Melo moves. You know what I mean? I can see it happening.
Was that the spin move he kept doing this? No, I know.
No, I was before Melo. Don't put that on. Don't do that. Don't do that, Raw.
Melo actually completes his spin moves though.
Exactly.
Melo actually completes it.
Melo does it without turning the ball over.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's all.
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying.
I hope we keep. Just the thought of trading Obi makes me sick. I hope we don't trade it.
I hope we don't trade him either, man. Team Obi. I want to keep. Honestly, I want to keep Obi and IQ together forever. But that's just me. You already know I'm an IQ guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind IQ leaving because I'm a deuce dude, but I want Obi to stay. Because if we did get, let's say they traded Randall and Obi became the starter. So you got Obi from New York, Melo from New York, Brunson with New York ties, Mitchell with New York ties, RJ with New York ties. It's like we have a whole city team.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is like a true our New York squad for real.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a whole New York City team right there.
Then we trade for Mo Bamba and then we gone. We out of here.
I really want to see what Obi can give as a starter, man. Almost as much as getting Spida, I want Randall gone just to see what Obi can do.
Right.
Always guard like Brunson run the squad.
Oh,
I really think
man.
the dude could average like 17, 18.
I'm with you on that. I agree 100%. Especially when he has a real point guard out there. Oh,
yep. Not the small forward out Burks.
I agree. Because right now the narrative. I'm sorry. Now right now the narrative is Obi's okay, but like I can't even be mad at people who don't see the potential lie though, because Tom Thibodeau mismanages minutes' his potential from the beginning.
Oh
so
yeah.
I can't be mad at people's assessment. Like
for real.
But that guy needs a shot, man. That guy needs a shot. Yeah. All right.
I see stars, man. I like Obi. I want Obi to stay.
Right, but
he threw the first pitch out of the Mets game.
Yeah, it looked good too. It looked like he's like Bo Jackson. He can transfer to baseball, no problem.
Nah, that was a wide. That was a wide pitch. He threw a wild pitch.
Maybe he just throws better than my pitch. I don't know.
He threw a knuckleball. He threw a knuckleball. He threw it wide right.
He was throwing strikes in the backyard, though. I saw the video. He was throwing strikes in the backyard.
He was. That's the one I saw, Ryan. That's the one I saw. I saw the strikes. All right. Yo. All right. Hold on. We got a super chat. Shout out to Michael Parker says, I'm cool if we don't get Mike Mitchell, but I would hope that the Knicks would go tank mode if we're out of playoff contention. Salute Knicks Nation. I'm not even having this conversation right now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even having this conversation.
Yeah, well, we're past the tanking days right now.
I'm saying he said the T word. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not even having it.
I think maybe he thinks we're 2018.
Yeah. I'm not having a conversation right now. We're not tanking. Not right now.
We in 2022, bruh.
Yeah, but yo, salute to you guys. I think this is a good way to end it. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Alexander, my holy king, Fritz Alexander, Hector Gaston, TC, Bertan, Thomas, B Civilized, Picks for Timmy, Trevor Yolette, Liam Neeson, everybody else is rocking the KOT show. Sorry we don't have the phones open today. We took long to get started because the phones was kind of even a little bit of feedback because I got all this new equipment and stuff and still trying to figure out how to incorporate the other stuff. But we're gonna get it done. We're gonna figure that out before the season officially starts. All right. So salute to you guys. Next time we're gonna have the phone thing situated. All right. But yeah, that is our show. Please, if you're not gonna donate, hit that like and subscribe. The like is gonna help the algorithm is gonna help put KOTs at the top. So if you want to support us, and you enjoyed the show and our commentary, please hit that like button and definitely the subscribe button. And we'll be back talking Knicks when other big news happens. And when the season starts, we're going to be going through the preseason games, the season games, and everything in between. All right, so definitely do that. All right, so that is our show. So let them know, Raw. Where can they find you, sir?
On YouTube, Raw Hebrew Remnant. On Twitter, Raw Hebrew Remnant. And on Instagram, Raw Hebrew Remnant. I think we got it pretty straight.
Facts. Yes, was Scoop B here? Yeah, Scoop B was here. Scoop B was cool too. I was trying to actually get Ian on. I was trying to harass him, but he hasn't hit me back. So maybe, I mean, honestly, he seems like a little busy right now. You know what I mean? But hopefully we get some more people here. All right. Salute to you, Lee. Lee, let you know where they can find you, Lee.
You know, I'm always writing my articles for Deadspin and posting for SB Nation. I want to give a shout out in the chat to 280 Peter Park, who says Randall needs to do DMT. I've been holding in that laugh, bro. That's really hilarious. Also, Gotta Be Legend is at La El Chavo del Ocho. Yes, it is. This is my collection of antique ceramics. El Chavo, it's an old Spanish TV show. He was asking me in the chat if that's who it was. Yes, it is. Thanks for that eagle eye.
Oh, good eye. El Chapo fans in the house. All right. Shout out to my guy, Lee. Great guy. All right. Ryan G. Let him know, man.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling. Let's go.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. You can also find me at Sir G's Corner, and Sir G's Corner will be up and running again starting next week because I am moving and I will have all the time in the world. So Sir G's Corner will be up and running next week. Let's go. And also you can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan G. Got a new gig in Indiana. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Knicks fans all over the world. So you can help us spy on the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? Figure out
no doubt.
What's going on with Miles Turner and them. And then we got Lee over there in Dallas who's gonna help us steal Luka in 2027. All right, cool.
Already working on it, bro. Already working on it. I hate these mad bum fans, bro.
Yeah. All right, that is our show. And as always, shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess. It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That is our show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams. NYC.